Have you ever felt like you're just pushing a boulder uphill? Like in your work, your relationships, even just in life, you're giving it everything you've got and it's still not working. Well, what if I told you there's a kind of hidden operating manual for everything? And the key to unlocking it wasn't found in some ancient philosophical text, but on the factory floor of a car company that was about to go bust. Okay, so let's set the scene. It's 1950, post-war Japan, and Toyota is in serious, serious trouble. Their cars were so notoriously unreliable that car dealers had this grim little joke they called Toyota Roulette. I mean, can you imagine? You sell a car, and you have no idea if it's going to be a gem or a total lemon. This wasn't just a manufacturing problem. This was an existential crisis. And this whole situation gets us to something I like to call the Toyota paradox. It's this maddening scenario where you're putting in absolutely maximum effort, but you're getting the bare minimum of results. I mean, look at what they had going for them. On paper, they should have been crushing it. You've got workers who are so dedicated they're pulling 12-hour shifts. You've got some of the most brilliant and innovative engineers around, management that is obsessed with every last detail, and this deep cultural sense of honor in doing good work. They were pouring their hearts and souls into this thing. And yet, for all that passion, all that brain power, all that hard work, it wasn't working. They were failing. The cars were a mess, the company was bleeding money, and you can just imagine what the morale was like. Total disaster. Does that sound painfully familiar? I think we've all been there. You're giving a project or a job or even a relationship everything you have, but you just feel like you're spinning your wheels in the mud. It's one of the most frustrating feelings in the world. So Toyota's basically at rock bottom. And in this moment of pure desperation, they do something kind of weird. They bring in an American statistician, a guy named W. Edwards Deming. Now, he's not a car guy. He's a numbers guy, a systems guy. And he saw something that everybody else had completely missed. What Deming did was introduce this really fundamental shift in thinking. He told them, look, you guys are doing it all wrong. You're trying to inspect for errors at the end of the assembly line. You're trying to catch the mistakes. He said that's like trying to inspect quality into a car after it's already been built. It's too late. Instead, you have to design a process that builds quality in from the very first step. It wasn't about working harder, it was about working smarter, a whole new design for work itself. So what did that actually look like? Well, first, they stopped playing the blame game. No more asking, who messed this up? Instead, they started asking, what's wrong with our system that let this mistake happen? They started fixing the process, not blaming the people. They documented every single step, specified exactly what was acceptable and what wasn't, and created ways to check their work constantly, not just at the end. And the results? They were absolutely staggering. I mean, look at this. In the first year, the defect rate was cut in half. By year 2, they had double production with the exact same number of people. In 5 years, they were confident enough to enter the American market. And within 20 years, the company that was a joke became the literal gold standard for reliability around the entire world. Okay, so this is where it gets really, really interesting. Because what Toyota stumbled upon, it wasn't just a better way to build cars. It turns out to be a universal principle, a kind of fundamental law that seems to apply to pretty much everything. And this idea, it's not new, not at all. Go back centuries before Toyota, and you've got masters like Leonardo da Vinci saying the exact same thing. He knew that you don't create a masterpiece through brute force. You first have to completely understand the nature of the thing you're making, its design, and then the creation becomes almost easy. Now let's fast forward to our time. You see the exact same DNA in modern innovators like Steve Jobs. When he talked about design, he wasn't talking about how a phone looked. He was talking about its core, its essence. For him, design was how it works. It's the same principle. And once you start looking for this, you see it everywhere. It's in software development. The best code is clean code that just naturally follows the logic of the problem it's trying to solve. It's in agriculture, with things like permaculture, where you work with the natural ecosystem instead of fighting against it. It's in medicine, where the best doctors support the body's amazing inherent ability to heal itself. And yeah, it's even in our relationships. You can't force someone to connect with you. You can only create the right conditions, align with the design of human connection, and let it happen naturally. So, if this principle of alignment with design works for cars and art and software and even relationships, what does that imply? Well, it points to something huge, something really profound. The idea that maybe reality itself has a kind of operating manual, a set of discoverable principles for how things are just designed to work best. And what's really wild is that this totally modern, data-driven business insight, it echoes some of the most ancient wisdom we have. Take this verse from the Psalms. The writer describes these divine instructions with words like perfect, right, pure. Now, you could read those as just moral terms, but they also sound a lot like engineering terms, don't they? Like someone describing a set of perfect design specifications. And if you start looking at these ancient frameworks through that lens, the whole picture changes. The word Torah, often translated as law, really just means instruction. It's an instruction manual. Sin isn't just about being a bad person, it's about operating outside of spec, which, just like in a machine, naturally leads to breakdown and failure. And righteousness? Maybe it's not about being morally perfect. Maybe it's about being in functional alignment with the way life is actually designed to work. And here's the kicker. Modern science keeps validating these ancient design specs over and over again. Psychology discovers that forgiveness is crucial for mental health, while the ancient manual said, forgive and you will be forgiven. Medicine proves that constant stress is a killer and that rest is essential for healing. The manual said, remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. We're just rediscovering the wisdom that's been there all along. So this all brings us back to that one huge lesson that Toyota learned the hard way. The key to transformation in a factory, in a project, in your own life, isn't always about more willpower, more effort, more force. It's about taking a step back, discovering the inherent design of the thing you're working with, and then aligning yourself with it. And that brings us to the big gut check question for all of us, right? Where in your life are you living like that old pre-Deming Toyota? Where are you just working harder but not smarter? Where are you trying to force an outcome instead of creating a good process and trusting it? Where are you fighting against reality instead of learning how to flow with it? And here's the beautiful paradox at the end of all this. Just like those Toyota workers found their jobs got easier and way less stressful, aligning with life's design isn't restrictive. It's the total opposite. It's liberating. It's about finding the path of least resistance, the most natural, effective, and, dare I say, joyful way to function. The operating manual is there. The only question left is, are we going to read it?